Best-selling author and American psychologist Mary Pfeiffer said this: "We live in a world filled with language. Language imparts identity, meaning, and perspective to our human community. Writers are either polluters or part of the cleanup team. Just as the language of power and greed has the potential to destroy us, the language of reason and empathy has the power to save us. Writers can inspire a kinder, fairer, more beautiful world, or invite selfishness, stereotyping, and violence. Writers can unite people or divide them." In this book show podcast, host, confidence coach Susan Axelrod asks women authors a simple question: which kind of writer are you? She invites each guest to step into the confidence zone to proclaim how her book can inspire. If you are seeking inspiration to create your legacy, take out your pen and pad. Your book, My Time, starts now. Hello, friends. Welcome to this episode of your book, My Time, the book review episode. Today, I am going to review a book for you that has had a significant impact on my life. This is unsolicited. The author does not know that I am offering this book review. In my podcast, I want to share seminal messaging with you by authors, or in this case, by review. The book I'm going to be speaking with you about today is this. It's called The Healer Within: Using Traditional Chinese Techniques to Release Your Body's Own Medicine. And it's by Roger Jahnke. This book was sent to me by an old friend of mine after he watched me on my daily lives. He heard a little bit from me about the nature of the work I did and gleaned what I was working to accomplish in my own life and with clients. When I spoke with him to thank him for sending me the book, he said, "It had a significant impact on my life, and I was moved to send it to you, and I have sent it and shared it with many other people." Well, reading has been hard for me. I have to be honest. When you're in the business of building your own business, every day you wake up on point, on purpose, committed to doing what you need to do, moving a little bit in the fast lane to get it all done. So I wasn't sure how much of the book I would actually read. The topics in the book are right on the cover of the book. These are the 4 topics that Roger Jahnke includes in his book called The Healer Within: movement, massage, meditation, and breathing. Well, I had been using breathing myself for many years as I had moved beyond my own type A personality. Breathing was one of the tools that truly supported me. I had long since created something that I call the breathing stop, which is a 60-second activity for you to do to stop where you are, come to present, breathe in, stretch a little bit, stretch your neck both ways, breathe in, long breath out, and then go on with your day. I used this myself before I started integrating it into my work in groups and in one-to-one coaching. So I knew breathing was something that would support people and would be useful. So instead of reading the whole book, I went straight to the section on breathing. The thing that I got right away was that this book is well sourced and well resourced. There's a full bibliography in the back of this book with articles and books to read, as well as a table of contents. This makes a difference from your regular self-help books, which usually are all about opinion and stemming from life experience, yes, but don't have bibliographies in the back and surely don't have tables of contents. So I liked that right away because in my own, what I call journey to enlightenment, journey to the light from the darkness of a depressive way of being or an anxious way of living in the type A world, I had experienced myself that these kinds of tools, mindfulness, meditation, breathing, could really and did, in fact, support me. What I loved was that there's scientific basis for these tools. That's something that I had been looking for. I found it in Barbara Fredrickson's book on positivity and Stephen Post's book, When Good Things Happen to Good People. And I found it here in The Healer Within. So I started with something that felt comfortable for me, something that I knew, and that was breathing. I love the fact that he uses pictures, illustrations, and explanations to support your ability to receive and learn these tools. And he does that for each of the four topic areas. And so after that, I went back and I read the introduction in which you learn about the author's story, as well as the rise of the mindfulness movement and the history of the Chinese techniques within the book. So I moved from breathing into self massage. Now, I love massages, but I never really thought about self massage as a tool. If you've ever had someone rub your feet or your shoulders or your neck or your hand or your arm or even your scalp, you know how it feels, right? We all know how good getting a professional massage is, never mind just having someone who loves you and whom you love give you a little massage. In this book, he talks about the idea of self massage, and he talks about the points, the pressure points, the touch points in your fingers and hands in particular, and in your feet, what's known as reflexology. So, the thing that I love about Roger, and the reason I've become a devoted follower, is he encourages you to do what you can with what you have. And he encourages you to do it even if you don't fully believe it or get it all. This is a thesis that I myself have followed for many, many years, decades, in fact. And so I started doing this self massage on my hands. Okay, it's not the same as a professional, but as he says, the more you do it, and especially when you learn what the pressure points are, you can literally create some of your own relaxation from learning self massage. So I built into my own breathing stop that I had already been doing and sharing for a long time, a little self massage here. Now, if you're listening this to this podcast instead of viewing the video, I have been using one hand on my other hand and massaging some of the pressure points as I'm speaking, all the way up this pinky to the side of the fingers. And here in the breathing stop, I'm using my own forefingers to press on the pressure point at your neck and go up your neck and back down, just walking your fingers up your neck and back down and really pushing on that muscle right there. I happen to be a little stressed right now, so I can really feel that muscle. And walking your fingers back and forth and up and down, you can go all the way to your back and all the way front. This is self massage. It's not hard. If you want, you can use a beautiful essential oil to just massage your fingers a little bit. You can use a beautiful essential oil after a shower to self massage your feet a little bit or all the way up your legs. Whatever it is that feels good to you will absolutely support you. If you want to go deeper, as Roger talks about in this book, he calls it Deepening the Practice. If you want to go deeper, you can add a few breaths to your self massage and you can really come to mindful presence, really bring yourself to mindfulness. All of this is talked about and taught in an easy to understand way in the book called The Healer Within. Now, another topic area that he talks about is gentle movement. This is another reason that it's movement, and I wrote the word. You can see for those who are viewing this by video. And if you're listening, I'm holding up the book and I hand wrote the word gentle in front of the word movement. And this was another area that piqued my interest because over the last, 25 years, really, I have been on a journey from being sedentary to being in what he calls movement. I call having it a fit life. Honestly, people who know me today know that I walk frequently, I hike, I climb, I dance, I'm active. I never, sit when I can walk. I never park close to a store. I always park far away. I build movement into my life. And in this book, he talks about the benefit of body movement. It helps your core, it helps balance, it helps with fitness, it helps in so many ways to have movement. And he gives examples and exercises of moving your arms, bringing them up, bringing them down, bringing them forward, bringing them back. Everything is truly able to be done by anyone. There is also adaptation for sitting in a chair. If you are in a wheelchair, if you're older, if you're not able to stand up and do full body movements, he offers adaptation in the book, which of course I love, so that it's accessible for everyone. Moving my body, well, all of these things were game changing for me, and so was movement. I learned that the energy systems, even your physiological systems, the blood flowing, is best supported by movement. When we're sitting at the desk all day or sitting for 3 or 4 hours in front of a television at night or for hours on end in front of your devices, your system is all stilled. It's stuck, it's sedentary. When you introduce movement into your body, even if you just want to talk with your hands, any way, shape, or form, movement supports better flow. And all of this is helping your brain activity as well. So movement is another area that he talks about in the book, including offering exercises, etc. So the fourth area is meditation. Well, friends, this one was difficult for me. In the day when I was in my type A and the whole life that I was living with self-imposed overachieving expectations, under fulfilling those self expectations and feeling depressed or anxious as a result, I used to say, well, I can't meditate, I can't quiet my mind. But when I had what I call an emotional breakdown, at that point, I really didn't have a choice about whether or not I could quiet my mind. My mind chose for me. And so through breathing, I began to have a growing experience to be able to clear my mind. I spoke with a good friend of mine I knew who did meditation, and she taught me about bringing the puppy back. If you're a dog person, if you've ever had a puppy, you know exactly what that means. The puppy strays, you bring him back. The puppy strays, you bring him back. And recently, we're learning so much more about the fact that meditation isn't necessarily about sitting quietly and being zen for 45 minutes, although that is one very effective form of meditation, but rather the commitment, the intentionality, the devotion, and the outcomes of bringing yourself to a quiet space, saying a mantra if it serves you. Perhaps it's dark, perhaps it's quiet, perhaps you're listening to music, perhaps you're using guided meditations, whatever it takes to be able to slow your heart rate, to slow the thoughts in your mind, and begin to be in awareness of your mind, your body, and that's where your soul will show itself. And so that was another area that I really have had to practice. I never achieved, even still today, after many, many years of practicing what we call deep state of, meditation, but rather I work to experience a meditative space. For a long time, all I could do was say the word clear, 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 trying to clear my mind and clear the thoughts that were perseverating and racing through my mind. And eventually, in my dedication to wanting to feel better, I was able to create a meditative space which allowed me to feel better. And I invoked and used breathing. I got out moving in nature, walking. I created a walking meditation opportunity, and all these things began to come together to help me feel healed, feel better, and really get healed. And that's why it's called the healer within. Now, there's a few things you can see. I have multiple bookmarks in here. If you're watching this on video, you can see I have I have highlighting, I have notes. I've read this book so many times. And so one of the areas that he discussed, one of the chapter subheadings is this: the heroes of mind body interaction. I've learned so much about how the mind can support the body to be better, feel better, do better, and how the body can support the mind to be better, feel better, do better. And so I love this section. And finally, there's one more thing that I love that he did. He has a whole chapter entitled What Could Be. So I translate this into what if? What if you imagine the possibilities? In my Confident Life coaching, my tagline is imagine the possibilities of, and then he calls it what could be. And one quote I wanted to share with you is this: the quantum aspect of ourself and ourselves has the potential to interact in a wave-like, undifferentiated interchange that occurs beyond the capacity of our particle nature, parenthesis, eyes and ears, for example, end parenthesis, to perceive. David Bohm, the great contemporary physicist and philosopher, explained that it is when entities are in their wave-like state, as an as yet undetermined state, that they can have a non-localized effect. Thus, when you are in your self-healing state where vital energies are dynamic and your mind is simply directed toward oneness, you can interact with possibilities. You can connect with the wave-like, as yet determined aspects of yourself and others. I just love that. To me, that is the basis of moving into the mindfulness movement, wanting to feel better, wanting to be better, wanting to do better. All of this leads to healing within. I am delighted to introduce this book to you, The Healer Within, and I encourage you to go out and buy it. I don't get any affiliate fee, anything at all for promoting this book. I am paying forward what my friend sent to me by sharing it with you. The last thing I want to share with you today is this. This has been such a monumental experience for me, learning all these tools and learning how it all comes together to actually be able to self-heal. And I'm a beautiful example of this, that I have decided to get certified a level 1 teaching certification in the body movement called Gong, which is what Roger Jahnke teaches, and Tai Chi Easy. Now, you probably know what Tai Chi is. You've seen it in the movies. You've seen people in a park outside moving their bodies very slowly, moving their hands in predetermined, very slow movements. What they're really doing is moving the energy around them, and they're bringing mindfulness to the physical movement. I am so excited when the opportunity to take this certification came out for this fall. And I looked at my fall schedule and I realized I could attend every one of the sessions, every one of the classes. I signed up immediately. Now, I am not one to just sign up willy nilly for all these things that other people teach. To tell you the truth, I'm in my own very, very deep impact space. Every day, I wake up in a purposeful state of being, having absolute intention to share, whether it's through clients who hire me or coming live daily, walking with my dog, my own body movement, etc. And so I don't sign up for all these different kinds of certifications. I only do it when I'm deeply personally moved for it. The last one I did was last year. I became a trauma informed professional coach, a TIPC. And I did that because of my own experience with trauma and difficulty, and realizing through my coaching that I would so benefit from being what's called trauma informed. And so now I'm going to be doing this. And honestly, I want accountability partners to do this with me. I'd love to have a few people who I know have signed up for this level 1 certification to be a teacher of this type of body movement. It's called energy movement, Qi Gong. Qi is energy. With Roger Jahnke and the institute that he created with highly trained teachers. Another reason that I decided to pay for this certification, join the group, and I'm talking about the book. This is one of his books, The Healer Within, is their marketing. Yes, you know I love my business models. You know I love me, everything about business. In his marketing, or the person he pays to do his marketing, they say this: there can never be enough teachers to teach this material. Thousands are needed. And the truth is, tens of thousands are needed. They say you don't have to know it all. You can just learn the basics and teach them in real time where you are. This is a theory that I use in my business. It's something that's helped me grow personally and grown my business to make it sustainable. I don't have to be the person who knows everything about everything, who knows it all, or barely knows anything. I teach and share and coach from my own intuitive space, and that's what I get from their marketing. They're looking for people who want to make a difference like this, and they say thousands of teachers are needed. There's no competition here. I probably won't be competing with you wherever you are located in the world if you do this. Even if you were right here in my own community, we would be best served to do this together, not in competition. The more of us do this, the better outcomes we'll have, the more peacefulness we'll have, and the brighter future we will have together. All right, friends. So that's it for today. My book review on the book, The Healer Within by Roger Jahnke. And if you're interested in hearing more about this level 1 certification training, you can contact me at whatwillyourlegacybe.com. Just click on the contact page on my website, whatwillyourlegacybe.com. untitled.com. And I would love to speak with you about this and invite you to join me if it's something that you feel called to do. All right, friends, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time on Your Book, My Time.